When it comes to relationships and interactions between men and women, mutual respect, understanding, and empathy are crucial. While every individual is unique, there are some universal principles that men should always keep in mind when interacting with women. These principles help foster healthy relationships, whether they are professional, personal, or casual. Understanding what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do, as certain behaviors can harm trust, respect, and emotional connection. This discussion will explore 5 key things that men should avoid doing with women, emphasizing the importance of empathy, equality, and respect in all interactions. One of the most fundamental things men should never do with women is disregard their opinions, feelings, or perspectives. Women, like men, have their own thoughts, ideas, and emotions, and these deserve to be valued and respected. Dismissing a woman's opinion simply because of her gender is not only disrespectful, but also perpetuates harmful stereotypes and inequalities. In conversations, whether they are about work, relationships, or casual topics, it is essential to listen actively and engage meaningfully. Interrupting, talking over, or ignoring what a woman has to say sends a message that her voice doesn't matter, which can lead to frustration, resentment, and a breakdown of trust. Respecting a woman's perspective doesn't mean always agreeing with her, but it does mean giving her the space to express herself and acknowledging the validity of her experiences and viewpoints. For example, in a workplace setting, if a woman shares an idea during a meeting, it is important to give her the same level of attention and consideration as any other participant. Ignoring her input or dismissing her ideas outright can create an environment where she feels undervalued and unappreciated. This can have long-term consequences, not only for her confidence and morale, but also for the overall dynamics of the team. Similarly, in personal relationships, disregarding a woman's feelings or opinions can lead to misunderstandings and emotional distance. For instance, if a woman expresses concerns about a particular issue in the relationship, brushing off her feelings or telling her that she is overreacting can make her feel invalidated and unheard. Instead, it is important to approach such conversations with empathy and a willingness to understand her perspective. By doing so, men can build stronger, more meaningful connections with the women in their lives. Another critical mistake men should avoid is making assumptions about a woman's capabilities, preferences, or desires based on stereotypes or societal expectations. For example, assuming that a woman is not capable of handling certain tasks because they are traditionally associated with men is not only unfair, but also undermines her abilities and self-confidence. Similarly, making assumptions about a woman's interests, career goals, or personal choices based on outdated gender roles can be limiting and disrespectful. Each individual is unique, and it is important to approach every person with an open mind, free from preconceived notions or biases. Instead of assuming, men should take the time to get to know women as individuals and understand their unique strengths, preferences, and aspirations. For instance, if a woman expresses an interest in pursuing a career in a male-dominated field, it is important to support and encourage her rather than questioning her abilities or motivation. Similarly, if a woman chooses to prioritize her family over her career, it is important to respect her decision and avoid making judgments about her choices. By challenging stereotypes and embracing diversity, men can contribute to a more inclusive and equitable society. In addition, making assumptions about a woman's preferences or desires in personal relationships can also be problematic. For example, assuming that a woman wants to get married or have children simply because she is a woman can be intrusive and disrespectful. It is important to have open and honest conversations about such topics and to respect each individual's unique goals and aspirations. By doing so, men can build relationships based on mutual understanding and respect. A third behavior men should avoid is objectifying or sexualizing women. This includes treating women as though their primary value lies in their appearance or physical attributes, rather than their character, intelligence, or accomplishments. Objectification can manifest in many ways, from making inappropriate comments about a woman's appearance to reducing her worth to her physical attractiveness. This behavior not only disrespects women, but also perpetuates harmful societal norms that prioritize superficial qualities over deeper, more meaningful attributes. It is essential to recognize and appreciate women for who they are as individuals, not just for how they look. This means focusing on their talents, intellect, and character rather than reducing them to objects of desire or beauty. For example, in a professional setting, it is important to evaluate a woman's contributions based on her skills and performance rather than her appearance. Making comments about her looks or focusing on her physical environment. Similarly, in personal relationships, it is important to value a woman for her personality, values, and character rather than solely for her physical appearance. For instance, complimenting a woman on her intelligence, kindness, or sense of humor can be far more meaningful and affirming than focusing solely on her looks. By doing so, men can build deeper, more genuine connections with the women in their lives. In addition, it is important to be mindful of the impact of media and popular culture on societal attitudes toward women. The portrayal of women as objects of desire or beauty in advertisements, movies, and other forms of media can contribute to the normalization of objectification. By challenging these portrayals and promoting more diverse and empowering representations of women, men can play a role in creating a more inclusive and respectful culture. Another thing men should never do with women is disregard their boundaries, whether they are physical, emotional, or social. Respecting boundaries is a fundamental aspect of any healthy relationship, and failing to do so can cause harm, discomfort, and a loss of trust. This includes understanding and respecting a woman's personal space, listening when she says no, and being mindful of her comfort levels in various situations. For example, if a woman expresses discomfort with a certain behavior or request, it is important to take her feelings seriously and adjust accordingly. Ignoring or dismissing her boundaries not only shows a lack of respect, but can also lead to feelings of vulnerability and insecurity. Respecting boundaries also means being attentive to non-verbal cues and being willing to have open and honest conversations about what is acceptable and what is not. For instance, in a professional setting, it is important to respect a woman's personal space and avoid any behavior that could be perceived as intrusive or inappropriate. Similarly, in personal relationships, it is important to have clear and open communication about boundaries and to respect each other's needs and preferences. For example, if a woman expresses a desire for more space or independence in the relationship, it is important to listen to her and respect her wishes. By doing so, men can build relationships based on mutual trust and respect. Finally, men should never belittle, demean, or undermine women in any way. This includes making derogatory comments, engaging in condescending behavior, or treating women as inferior. Such actions can have a profound impact on a woman's self-esteem and can damage the trust and respect that are essential for any healthy relationship. Belittling behavior can take many forms, from sarcastic remarks and passive-aggressive attitudes. It is important to recognize that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their gender. Building a culture of equality and mutual respect requires men to be mindful of their words and actions and to actively challenge behaviors or attitudes that perpetuate inequality or disrespect. For example, in a workplace setting, it is important to avoid making jokes or comments that belittle a woman's abilities or contributions. Similarly, in personal relationships, it is important to avoid using language or behavior that undermines a woman's confidence or self-worth. For instance, making comments about her appearance, intelligence, or abilities in a way that is intended to demean or belittle her can have a lasting impact on her self-esteem and the overall dynamics of the relationship. By treating women with kindness, empathy, and respect, men can build stronger, more meaningful connections and contribute to a more inclusive and equitable society. In conclusion, Fostering healthy and respectful relationships between men and women requires a commitment to empathy, understanding, and equality. By avoiding behaviors such as disregarding women's opinions, making assumptions based on stereotypes, objectifying or sexualizing women, ignoring their boundaries, and belittling or demeaning them, men can contribute to a more inclusive and equitable society. These principles are not only essential for building trust and respect, but also for creating an environment where everyone feels valued and empowered. By embracing these values, men can play a crucial role in promoting gender equality and fostering positive interactions with women in all aspects of life. It is through these efforts that we can create a world where everyone, regardless of their gender, can thrive and reach their full potential.